I'm not saying that war is close by, but I think we can all agree these are some pretty unstable times. So it doesn't seem as unlikely as it did before that we could have our daily lives impacted by things like economic instability or shortages caused by trade war, or God forbid war. So I don't think it's a bad idea to start preparing for these events. And we already talked about it a little bit in the comments of my last vlog last weekend. And I have started making a list over things I can do to prepare myself and my farm. But you know, hopefully I'll never have to use it for these reasons. And in that case, it simply becomes a set of skills and ways for me to become more connected with the resources that I have. So here are the things we're going to look at today. We're going to look at water, food, energy, materials, skills and knowledge, and security. Now, as you've noticed, I'm not here to teach you things. This is not a tutorial. I'm inviting you along for the journey of me discovering things and learning things. And that's why I'm counting on you, my wonderful YouTube family, including you, Uncle Greg, to chime in with ideas and pointers. So please let me know what you think of all these ideas, and if there are any things that you think I should plan differently, and of course if there's something I've forgotten altogether. Okay, let's go. I think we can all agree the number one resource we need in order to sustain life is water. And I have plenty of it. Good thing about living out in the country like this is you do tend to have your own well, and I have my own well. Well, my neighbor and I have our own well. And it's always full, even in the driest summer. Okay, so that's good. I have my own water well. It's a private well, off-grid. So that's that. But what about running water, you say? In the event that I have no electricity for my infamous water pump, as you have all had the pleasure of knowing and hearing, I want to show you something pretty cool. Now, this is my barn tap, and it's what I use for watering my animals. Now, unlike the taps in the house, this one does not need a water pump. Now let me tell you why. Because the well is located on a higher level than this tap. So the pressure of the water is what forces the water out. So we have running water here and no need for a pump. when we talk about self-sufficiency, food is, I mean, that's what most people mean when they say self-sufficient. So there's plant-based food and there's meat-based food, animal-based food. I could never be vegan or vegetarian. I love my proteins, okay? So I have chickens. They give me wonderful, wonderful eggs. Full of nutritional goodness. And they can also produce more chickens. I have one duck left, so I'm going to get him a couple of female ducks. Hopefully get some eggs and more ducks. Duck meat is wonderful. Duck eggs are amazing, especially for baking. I'm going to probably get a couple of pigs this spring. I'll feed them and I'll harvest them before Christmas. I've also been thinking about cows, both for meat and for dairy. However, they might be more trouble than they're worth. They require a huge amount of feed compared to what you get back from them. So I'm going to have to think about that one. But a good alternative could be goats. A couple of goats. Okay, maybe more than a couple of goats. Maybe 5 goats. There are meat breeds and there are dairy breeds. Any of you got any experience with goats? Do you want to know what a warning sounds like if they see something scary in the sky? You can call me the chicken whisperer. I shouldn't have done that, should I? I'm gonna get out of here. Peace and quiet. Okay, so there are other ways of getting animal-based food. And you don't actually have to keep it and feed it and rear it yourself. You could hunt. And I am an avid hunter since I started this last fall. I have equipment and I have land. So I can hunt deer, hare, wild boar. There's also a moose. I'm gonna have to stock up a little bit on ammunition because I don't have much. And then there's fishing. I have never really fished before, but there's a huge lake just a couple of minutes away, so maybe I should start fishing just to understand how it works. And I do love fish, so I'll get a fishing card or fishing permit, which is only like 20 euros for a year. The types of fish you can get here are mostly perch and pike. So you guys tell me, what do I need equipment-wise? You need to teach me. Hunting and fishing. That's also 2 good ways of sourcing animal protein. I almost forgot. I used to keep bees a few years ago, and I'm thinking that's a great thing to do for self-sufficiency. Honey is an excellent substitute for sugar. And this time, I think I'm going to try a top bar hive. That's a hive without frames. Now, what about plant-based food? Okay, go. I have a nice garden here with a bunch of fruit trees and also a greenhouse, which has been taken a bit of a beating in the winter storm, so there's a good few window or glass panes shattered. We'll have to deal with that later. Anyway, as for growing food, I think that I want to see what I can grow that is perennial. There's already a couple of things here. These are Jerusalem artichokes. They are flower tubers, actually, and they are perennial and extremely hardy. These are very tasty. They're kind of sweet and earthy. And rhubarb and asparagus, as well as apple trees, plum trees. Now, I would like to look into growing a food forest, but I also need to grow some annuals, potatoes, beets, that's my favorite, carrots. These can all be stored for a long time. And I also want to grow kale, which has a very long growing season. And mangold, maybe? Cauliflower? Any other suggestions? Please share. I want to spend my energy growing more calorie-dense foods. Beans and peas. Look, they're coming out for the first time this year. So we might run into a scenario where we are off-grid in terms of electricity. And what do I use electricity for other than Wi-Fi? Heating, lighting, cooking. The heating part is simple enough. I have several wood-burning stoves and fireplaces in my house. I have a whole forest full of wood. As for lighting, that's also not a huge issue. I have a bunch of oil-burning lamps. So I need to stock up a little bit on lamp oil. As for cooking, I have a wood-burning stove to cook on. So that's also not something I'm going to dwell on. But what if there is a fuel shortage? Well, I'll have no tractor. I'll have a tractor, that doesn't work. And also no car, no chainsaw, no bushwhacker. Chainsaw and bushwhacker, there's a lot of good electric powered now, battery powered. A chainsaw is a good thing to have. I can't be cutting down trees and splitting logs manually. I should get some solar panels. And batteries. If you'd have to go self-sufficient over time, then creating your own materials could be good for garments or even trade. So I'm going to see what it takes to create different types of wool materials such as yarn and felt. There's so much lanolin. Nature's own. I guess the one thing that enables someone to have a better chance at surviving than someone else is not really so much the actual resources as your brain. I think the wisest thing I can do is to educate myself, learn about survival skills and acquiring agricultural knowledge. And once you have a good understanding of that, then you will find the solutions, I think. There's one more thing I want to talk about today, which is security. Now, there are different types of security that you can consider if everything goes tits up. And one is the social security, and I'm not talking about money from the government social security, but rather having a support system, having people around you that are your allies and that can help. And likewise, that you could help. I have discovered that there are good people out there, and some of them might be your neighbors. So if you don't know your neighbors, now's a good time to go and say hi. And then there is the aspect of medical security. Knowing what to do if you're injured or sick, if you have an infection, having medical supplies, commercial or natural. The thing is, it's the knowledge that is important. Having a little bit of an understanding of how the body works, I suppose. And finally, security as in safety. I think it's important maybe to have some kind of hideout, maybe? I haven't thought about this much. If I find some foreign-speaking troops on my doorstep with ill intent, I don't think I want to be home. So maybe emergency pack if you need to skedaddle. I don't know, what are your thoughts? I haven't really thought this through.
It's the coldest hand that run down this land where the ocean lands. It's the tallest sound, the damn smallest crowd, but their hearts break loud. Far from ever feeling lost with me, I'll push you back towards land and sea. They're going down for love, and love is free. Stick with me and I will guarantee.
And so, there you have it. That's my prepper list in anticipation of the Greenland War. I want to thank you for all your great ideas and input, both the things that you already contributed with and no doubt what is to come. And I thought that we could use maybe this list as kind of a blueprint for the channel going forward, and that we can look into all of these aspects of self-sufficiency and learn and explore together as the good friends that we are. And that's it. Don't go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Speaking of being prepared for any scenario, have you ever thought about what would happen if YouTube was shut down completely? Now, I don't believe that that will ever happen, but you never know. There was the whole TikTok thing. I once had my Facebook account hacked, and I never got it back. I lost years worth of pictures, and I lost touch with so many people, and I don't really want that to happen again. And I feel like, you know, we're getting familiar, we're friends, right? So I created a Substack. For those of you who are not familiar with it, don't worry, nor am I. It's kind of like an old-fashioned mailing list, and I will publish some written stuff there. In case something happens, then we have another way of staying in touch, and it's free. So I should have started with that. It's free. So now nothing shall keep us apart. Toodle-doo and happy prepping. I'd eat you last.